Welcome to the Take 148 podcast, produced by 148 Films. Join us as we explore video production, creative storytelling, and the real stories behind the lens.
About to get real good.
All right, well, welcome, Delanie, to the Take 148 podcast. Welcome back to 148 Studios.
Woo! One of my favorite places.
I feel like we have something new for you every time you're here.
You do.
You've been like back in the sidewall, you've had to drop off tiles, and now you're part of a podcast.
I mean, I saw it before it got fully built too, so I feel like, sideline spectator cheering it on, also supporting it.
Well, we're glad you're here. Delanie is the director of brand marketing for the Recreational Group, who is one of our partners that we work with on a monthly basis, which is awesome.
We do. We have all the things, all the fun. I mean, I think I have more fun than you guys do, but
I think so. I mean, I feel like you are queen of fun, and you always look like you're having a great time. So.
I would like to change my title to that.
Yeah, there you go, queen of fun for the Recreational Group.
Yes, there we go.
So what Daniel has introduced into this podcast as a segment is some pre-production research. So we just want to get to know you a little bit better. And for you, I felt like it was appropriate to ask all Disney questions.
Oh, nice. Okay. I was going to say, hopefully he didn't go too far back.
Yeah.
And I hope that MySpace is officially taken down and he can't find any of that stuff because this could be awkward fast. I'm just kidding. No, Disney's good. We'll stay there.
So I've only been to Disney World. So what's the best park at Disney World?
Oh, what a horrible... No, they're all so great and wonderful in their own ways. But if you don't have children with you, or you do have children with you, I think Epcot takes the cake ever since the Epcot transformation. 22 years ago, so 2023 maybe, when it officially, I don't know, all the walls came down 2024. But they revamped the park. There's 3 different playgrounds that you can take your kids to. You can drink around the world. There's super great rides, the Guardians of the Galaxy one. So anyway, there's something definitely there for everyone. And it was originally Walt's vision. So depending on how Disney nerd you are, that's the best. But Magic Kingdom's dope.
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom's fantastic. You have to go to all of them. Hollywood Studios is super cool. You can't skimp out on one.
I think you're right. They all have something different and something else new to offer.
Yes.
But I feel like getting the answer of Epcot is a good, unique answer because I feel like most people are just going to be like, Magic Kingdom, of course.
Well, I mean, if you like traffic and a monorail that breaks down consistently, and then, but Epcot all day, every day. You could call me anytime and be like, I'll definitely go to Epcot. Magic Kingdom, I'm like, no, I did not get enough rest. Yeah.
I was a big fan of Epcot when we went.
So good.
What's the best park bite? I feel like there's little snacks everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Festival of Holidays is going on right now.
Okay.
So we came back, obviously, I think a week and a half ago we were there. They had a Kahlua, pork that was served with that, purple potato and then little dices of mango on top. I mean, every one of my children ate it. I also ate it. I think we spent upwards of $50 on Kahlua pork. I will find the copycat recipe, but that one right now, and there's a melon drink that goes with it.
Wow.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was a Melikilikimaka style, one of their
That's
festival
perfect.
huts. Yeah. See, don't ask me Disney questions. It's I'm just going to make you drool and sad that you're not there.
I love it. On the way down, all right, so you're driving from Dalton, Georgia to Orlando.
Oh.
What's the go-to gas station snack and drink?
Okay, no. So, you just drive. We left at 8 o'clock at night and drove till 4 o'clock in the morning so that all 3 children would stay asleep.
Perfect.
Did they stay asleep? No, they did not. So it was horrible.
Yeah.
And it was please don't stop anywhere. Buc-ee's is totally the place, but also Quick Trip if you can't find a Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Because they got all those smoothies and ices and coffees and teas.
What are you picking up? What are you picking up at the Quick Trip?
I like tea.
Yeah.
But my children like ices so that they can get car sick and throw it up. So it's a good time. But any of the things. The sunflower seeds too.
Okay.
If you just something to keep munching.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm actually a big sunflower seed and tea guy myself. That was my answer. So.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Point.
What's your favorite character? I feel like, and I'm not gonna pigeonhole you into princesses here. I mean, I feel like there's such a wide array of characters.
Yeah, there's for sure different categories, but all day Stitch. He's just,
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
He's just making trouble. Josh was just saying that. Is he because before the live action came out, Stitch wasn't as popular, and it was if you found something with Stitch on it, it was very rare, and it's pick it up and keep it, and whatever. And now everywhere you turn, I mean, Ro just had Christmas mug exchange. There were 3 Stitch mugs, and I thought it was so clever bringing a Stitch mug. But so I'm happy that he is now not as underrated as he once was.
Yes.
But is he still the most overexposed, underrated character? And we literally had that conversation while doing
Probably.
dishes last night.
I recently saw the movie again for the first time in a long time, and we had Skip asked us questions every Monday as like an icebreaker for our staff meeting. And one time it was like, who would make the best pet? And like after seeing Stitch, I was like, man, I wish I had thought of Stitch. Like, what a fun pet. He
Fun
would be.
pet, not
Chaotic.
best pet.
Yeah, chaotic, but real fun.
But like he can like help you with stuff.
Yeah,
Like, he can drive
exactly,
vehicles, fly. Yeah.
He can communicate. He talks a little bit more than my dog talks, so
Yeah. When we were at Disney, we had some of the team was researching different like demographics that like characters, and Stitch was like the most, I guess, like inclusive. Like every age, every ethnicity, Stitch like ranked in a consistent way, and I thought that was super cool, and it made me like him more just because I was like, anywhere around the world, you can understand like. Like whatever he's saying, I don't know. I have a really good Stitch impression. You're welcome.
That was pretty spot on. I love
Yeah.
it. I love the limited Stitch that we're getting here. So, like we said earlier, Delanie is here because we partner with the Recreational Group, and it's been a fun relationship. I think going back to 2023 now.
Yeah, whenever I came on,
Yeah.
I was like, I think I hired you guys before I even moved out here.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I know that Skip and I think Zach had worked on some projects before that, but I
Right.
think officially, 2023. So walk me through kind of like your journey, like what kind of early interests, creative or otherwise, were kind of like have like propelled you into this like creative journey.
Okay, with like just me or like with 148? Because I have
With
answers
you.
for both.
Yeah, just like
I
early,
was like, oh man.
early Delanie years. I mean,
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
that
okay.
includes, a stop at Disney. So if you want to include that, you can. But what kind of things kind of have propelled you to where you are now?
Yeah. So we went to UC Irvine. I say we because me and my husband are together 19 years this year, maybe, or it'll be 19 years. How long we've been together, and we've been
That's
married.
awesome.
I don't know, since 2017, so whatever that is. But we were at UC Irvine. I had like no friends, and he was on the rowing team, and the coxswain, the gal at the front of the boat, she was in a sorority, and so she was like, "You should totally join Tri Delta." And I was like, "I really know nobody down here," so I'm like, "Maybe this isn't the worst idea, but I don't want to buy my friends. That sounds weird." She's like, "No, it's not like that. We volunteer at St. Jude, and like we do this big thing with pancakes, and like all of us play sports." And at that time, I was on the ultimate frisbee team. Fun. And I know with your stuff,
I
frisbee
love that
stuff.
fun
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah. And then I played soccer for the club UCI team too. So I was like, okay, I guess this kind of fits in. And long story short, I loved it. It was awesome. But there were a couple girls that worked for Disney. They worked for Disneyland. And they were like, you should totally try out. And I was like, there's no way. So I ended up graduating. UC Irvine, I had a degree in English and creative writing and screenwriting, which does not scream marketing, like, first and foremost. But it catapulted me into that Disney audition. And fast forward 8 auditions later, I finally got the call. And kind of in that process, I'd moved back to like Palm Springs area. And so I picked up a job with Swiss Tracks as sales, which is one of the brands Recreational Group acquired, I think in about 2017, right around there, something around there. And anyway, so I worked there, got that call at Disney. The owner of that company at that time was like the most cool, supportive, awesome. And he was like, you should totally go and do that. How often are you going to get to go be a princess at Disney World?
Right.
And so me and Josh did long distance. And kind of in that time, I worked like 70-hour weeks. I ended up working at Universal Studios too. And I got to be in the Halloween series with Mike Myers. And it's like I can't remember. Jamie Lee Curtis's character. I can't remember what her name is.
Gosh. Lori?
Lori?
Yeah.
Lori. So I got to be her, and it was
Okay.
so random and cool. I got stabbed on average like 700 times a night because it was the scene where he like came in through the window, and so that like that sound, I hear it in my nightmares sometimes. And anyway, so we did that for a whole season, and then I also did Little Mermaid, not the Little Mermaid, at SeaWorld. Anyway, long story short, 72-hour work weeks.
Wow.
I was like, this is a lot for, $9 an hour or whatever it was. I was like, I probably should use my degree and like do something. So I came back, and that was kind of when this marketing opportunity opened up, because I came back to Swiss Tracks, and I had been working for them the whole time I was at Disney too, traveling to trade shows, like, so still selling floor, selling random like other partnerships that they were incorporated in. So like there was this art, now I can't remember, Godard? I don't know. It's like, it's expensive.
Yeah.
And there was like one in particular, and it was like signed by Pamela Anderson and like a bunch of things. And it was my goal explicitly at that show to sell that artwork.
I love it.
And it was just like, it's been so random, but like from selling club car chassis, golf carts at these shows, and like just getting exposed to this strange industry of, what was sales. That was what started, hey, I don't have the right stuff for marketing. Like, why am I getting the same question over and over and over again from these people? We're not giving them what they need to get the answers they need to make the decision about purchasing faster. And so I basically brought that to the owner again, and they gave me the opportunity to, what do you know about fixing a catalog? What do you know about fixing the Quadville? What do you know about fixing these things? And I had no experience with Adobe Creative Cloud or any of those things. So I just got on YouTube University and figured it out for myself. And so, then you start layering in, I think, fast forward 2 years, I was able to hire a social media gal. And then I was able to hire someone to help me organize all the photography that we kind of inherited, like from a legacy standpoint. And eventually I was like, you guys, I think I'm a director of marketing now. Like, I don't know if you want to put that title on it, but I'm feeling like we should change something, because I'm definitely not in sales.
Yes.
And so, so that was really my exposure to, like, I guess kind of that old style of what people thought marketing was, ordering T-shirts and, going to the trade shows and doing that stuff. And then the digital marketing aspect really started playing into it. And I'm like, we should fix the website. We should do all these things. And that kind of is what sent me in the next direction. So I made a stop at, I think COVID hit, right before COVID hit. I started working for California Pizza Kitchen as one of their like corporate marketing partner, marketing area partner, something like that. I don't know. I had the whole East Coast, bottom right. And there were maybe 10 of us across the whole country. And it was, dude, so fun. Like, it actually was the old MySpace building that was their headquarters in LA. So we got to go out there. I had just had my first kid, and we were just like, it was a totally different kind of marketing, I guess. It was like where I got to work with fundraising specifically. What else? And like birthday parties. And fun fact, plug for California Pizza Kitchen, they do like Girl Scouts and Boy Scout. You can earn patches.
Oh, that's
so you can
cool.
take your whole troop in, and they teach you the science behind making the pizza.
Nice.
And it's like $10. I'm like, how do you not
That's
go?
fun.
And then additional fun fact, you can also book like a mimosa bar. So if the parents want to
For the
come,
Girl
you
Scouts?
can.
No.
Yes, no for the parents. And then anyway, so long story short, it was like I started finding all these cool little niches that we could play with, and that being one of them. And so I was like, we could probably automate some of this stuff. What would be a good platform I could put in place here? And that led me to HubSpot, which, if you've never used HubSpot, it's awesome. It's a really cool CRM. It does everything. They are so innovative and fun. I love working with them. And I've been now in and out of being like a HubSpot advocate or elite partner or whatever it is for about a decade. But I brought it to California Pizza Kitchen, and I actually was able to like optimize catered orders without me having to do anything. And that was a huge moment. It doesn't sound like it's a huge moment, but it was a huge moment for me because it took me to my next step, which COVID hit. They got rid of all the AMPs, the area marketing partners for California Pizza Kitchen. And oh my gosh, I cried. I was so sad because I was like, this was like me and Josh's first date was at a California Pizza Kitchen. So I was like, it was a fairy tale moment.
Yes.
And then anyway, so fast forward again, that job kind of wrapped up. I ended up going to an agency called SmartBug. They're awesome. They're right next to, they're in like Irvine, California, which again, it was like, how am I in Florida? But I'm getting all these jobs in California still, which is great because I'm from there. But it was just like, I love that God is doing this or whatever is putting out, like, these are my signs that I need. And I know this is not the long-winded, there's a reason I'm telling you all these things because the path I think that you get put on to get you to where you're going, you're just not in control. Like, if you just keep following like your heart or these things that if it is God putting it in front of you, it's wild to look back and see the people that were left in your trail, how you impacted their life, the changes that are made there. And like, I can't talk about that enough. But anyway, that's what eventually led me to Recreational Group. And I know Disney was in and out of it. That agency job fully leveraged HubSpot. That's where I can do anything in there now. Like, yeah, it's so cool because it's very hard to find people that do that, and also people that can think about what a video needs to be, so then you can use that for this and what that's going to look like on social, and having just a strategic and creative mindset for all the avenues now that marketing is going for. So whether it is t-shirts and swag and digital footprint, and you talked about, I know we'll probably hit on it, but AI and what that path looks like, how that plays into this marketing technology with HubSpot or with sales or all these things that exist. It's like marketing isn't just marketing anymore. There's just so much more to it. So that journey really ended right before Recreational Group, when I got to go back to Disney World, not in entertainment this time, but as a corporate, what was the title? Man.
Did you come up with your own title again? Or?
No, I did not. They're very intense about their titles.
Yeah.
It was, oh my gosh, but it was just like so long. But essentially I was on the corporate marketing strategy team for Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
And I got to help facilitate the end and wrap up and like metrics and system and logistics behind the 50th celebration, which was an 18-month endeavor where they painted the castle.
Yeah.
They rolled out statues, the magic bands and technology and like corporate partnerships that were just, McDonald's and Joffrey's Coffee and just like you name it. And it was like the Disney 100, the Disney, not 100, that was the thing that came next, but the Disney 50th celebration, was highlighted. So it was so cool. And then I got that call, and it was Josh was going to have the opportunity to be vice president over the tile division at Recreational Group, which at some point I guess I should talk about kind of what that is. But from VersaCourt, Swiss Tracks, Ultra Base, and Recreational Group event surfacing, it just covers all the fun that you could possibly have. So and I mean, too, like just to layer them in there because I love working. Now I have 3 kids, so those are like full-time jobs. But before that, I always had like 4.
For sure.
I worked at Tiffany & Company. I've worked at Ritz-Carlton as a club-level concierge. I've worked at Nordstrom. I was like their top salesperson and intern in Southern California. Like I know how to sell stuff, like expensive stuff.
Which goes hand in hand with marketing. I feel like that gives you such a great, unique perspective about, like you said earlier, the things that you need to sell things. So like you now have the ability to empower these salespeople.
Totally, because I've been in their shoes. And I'm like, I also don't want them to hate me. Like, why do sales and marketing have to butt heads? They don't. Like, we are so on the same team. And like, if I spend money, it's to make you more money.
Right.
So I try to do that. And I always try to be frugal and like cost conscious of those things. So it's like, how can I get the most out of this investment? Because it's also attribution is just so hard. So anyway, but going back, like, it was just, leaving, I guess, so wrapping all the Disney stuff up, the opportunity that has always existed with every single place I've been is it's not just selling fun, because I love, again, queen of fun, like I'd love to literally make that real, but it's the experiences that are all attached with it. So the storytelling that goes into each one of those brands, and that's what 148 has done, and that's where I'm eventually going with this is how can I find that now when I have the budget that I have, which again, it's not like I have a good budget, but it's not the Disney budget.
Right.
But the expectation is still in my head is the Disney expectation. So how am I going to deliver collaborations like this or things like this that in my head surpass that 50th anniversary where they spent a ton of money. I cannot tell you. I am not allowed. But like, I saw those at the end. I saw the final numbers. I saw the metrics we were looking at and, how much work for everyone that went into that. And so anyway, it's just like, okay, so now how do we do that here? And, Swiss Tracks, world's finest, modular flooring, garages, it's here in the podcast room. It's next door in the Bricks and Minifigs store. Yeah. It's places you don't know. Ultra Base, same thing. If you're going under a lot of stadiums, you've got that modular interlocking panel system there too. Golf, PGA stores, golf in general, anything you can't get concrete to, it's an alternative for a sublayer to turf. And rooftops, pets, you name it. And then VersaCourt, like the ultimate athletic court system, putting it in your backyard, putting it it's in pop-up events for, any if you want to have a basketball hoop slam dunk contest, you can put that in the middle of your trade show and like have a ton of fun, or you put it in your backyard and make sure your kid crushes it next time the season rolls around and they never don't make a team again for the rest of their life. They get away from the screen, they go outside. But anyway, my point is like I can ramble on about all of these because in the back of my head, I've built a story that's worth telling for all of them and their brands. And that's where 148 really did came in. I needed to find a partner when I got here that could help me do that. And I'm not a video editor. I have a vision. I'm insane. But like,
No.
I dream about it. I'm like, I know the shots that they got.
Yes.
I know where it is.
Yeah.
How are we going to put this together to make something? And there is no one else. And I've had other people come up to me and they love sending me cold emails too, or calling me like, I'm a video partner. I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I would cry if I ever could not work with them in the capacity that we do. You know, I'm always trying to, well, I'm not lying. You should always go with 148. I love everybody too. I love be great. But like, you know, the way you guys have attached to our brands, I feel like confident enough to send you into those places with those folks, because you know at the base of this, why would someone want to put Swiss tracks in their garage? I mean, why? You don't necessarily need it. I'm not going to sell you on needing it, but I am going to sell you on the fact that it makes your garage way cooler. You want to hang out there with your family and friends. It expands your house and gives you more usable space. And I can show you that with kids playing. I can show you that with hanging out and cracking open a Coca-Cola. That's right. You know, cheers, and having that. But it's a story that can be told. And, you know, when we look at these larger brands, and I know you guys roll your eyes when I say Yeti and, your Disney, that's exactly where it goes.
No, and I think that's, you know, it's fun when you say brands like that, because it goes back to what you're saying about it really forces your creativity and pushes it forward when you're trying to, from your perspective, you're trying to think, I don't have a Disney budget, but how do I deliver that same quality? And I think for us, it's the same thing. It's like, how do we deliver a Yeti story at this level, you know? And it's fun to really talk about those things amongst ourselves and with you. And I think that's one of the things that has always lined up with us in this partnership, is just like, we're just trying to tell a good story. You know?
And if it's not fun and it's not worth watching, why are we going to make it?
Right.
Like, there's enough garbage out there that if you're gonna waste time, let's have it be on something that's awesome like that. Like, and we should link it in this, but you should link the Devon's, like the beautiful.
For sure.
I mean, it's long, but it's like the ultimate story. It's so good. I cried during those interviews. I'm like, this isn't even my story. I'm on the sidelines, and but you know, you guys, the questions that you guys were asking, and like, again, you know the direction I'm trying to go, so allowing me to step back and just watch and not have to facilitate and ask all those questions, but see where it's going. It's like, I just feel like creatively our minds are in sync with that. And it's really hard to find people that can do that.
For sure. So. And it's cool to be able, and you know, I think that's why the partnership, again, has just been successful, is I feel like we've just come to a place where we're all on the same page, you know? And of course, working with us is just part of what you do. So like, what does kind of like the day-to-day look like for you? What kinds of other things, you know, drive your day at the Recreational Group as, you know, this director of fun?
You know, every day is, when we were trying to expand our team, I was just so particular on who you can add and what you can do, because it's not like, hey, you come in and you're going to do this from 9 to 5. It's like, hey, we're going to be at this content shoot till 11 o'clock at night. Or, hey, we need to make 45 dealer bags that need to go out, you know, on this. And, hey, we need to set up an entire swag store so that we can empower 900 people at this company to want to represent their brand or any of these brands. So it's like, you know, and being part of Recreational Group, they're driven for, I mean, they're wonderful, but they want to grow and they want you to grow. And they do that mostly through acquisition, which is, I can't say I've gone with that before, other than like, you know, Disney they've already been doing that. And you have like Netflix that just acquired Warner Brothers. And I mean, you see this stuff going on all around you. It's the fastest way to grow. You can't deny it. But also with that, you know, you inherit people, you inherit technology, you inherit these. So it's kind of fun, because you never know what is actually coming in next. And hey, how can I leverage that and make it bigger? So, you know, other than having, it's horrendous, but I mean, I'm like a 0 inbox person. But this job has me at a 600 inbox daily person. And I'm just like, and so I tell people, I'm like, just Teams me or text me or just call me. Like, you know, because overseeing, I think we have really, there's over 30 brands at Recreational Group. But of those 30, I actively have 4 strong brands that are running campaigns and sending out emails and sending out text messages and leveraging different technology that you have to sync together through HubSpot and make sure those APIs are firing and make sure you're communicating with the IT team. So it's like, as a director of marketing, I wish I could say, I wake up, I make my coffee, I get on my computer, I answer my, 35 emails that came in, which that really was how it was at Disney. It was like, it was so set every day. The expectations were easy to achieve, but coming kind of into this zone, but you don't grow from, I don't want to say stability, but like you don't grow, you do grow from, but you don't grow from like, and I mean, again, some people totally do, but it's like a sink or swim for me. So I'd rather, I guess, be like half drowning and not, to just push myself to see what else I can grow with. And I don't want to like die early because of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not that stressful, but it is like, hey, to this day, we have this thing, we're working with this influencer. I noticed that we need to update privacy policy and we need to, update this contract. Let's get with the legal team and get with that. So it's like, I'm not going to pass that down to, my marketing, I think specialist and coordinator and manager. Like, I want their day-to-day to be more routine so that they can grow and learn in those elements and give me the garbage. I'll figure it out.
I feel like you thrive in that world. I feel like you thrive in the world of, you know what, I'm just going to figure it out and it's going to get done and the process is going to be better when I'm done with it.
Yeah. I mean, we hope. It's better than nobody doing anything, right?
Sure,
The alternative is that it sits there and then it just like grows a monster horn and then no one touches it for 3 years. And then, I don't ever want the fingers pointed back at me for that kind of thing. So I'd rather just be like, y'all, I tried. I raised my hand for help, okay?
Yeah.
But so far it's, I mean, again, they're super great at, well, first of all, they like, I've never met a company that has so many women in like high, like I think we just promoted, our CFO is now, I believe, our president, but I think she's the first president in the history of the turf industry as a female. It's super cool. And she's super cool. And they're all unique and fun in their own ways. And so it's that trickles down into everybody else. It starts up with them and trickles down. And, if you get them all too in the right setting, they're seriously hilarious.
We have definitely enjoyed all of the people that we've gotten to meet.
Yeah. We've conducted a lot of interviews, too.
A lot of interviews. Great interviews. And it's just fun to, like, kind of get to understand, and that's fun, too, is that we've just gotten to know and understand the Recreational Group in such a different way than many other people that we get to work with just because of some of the projects that you've given us.
Yeah, they're all very intimate projects, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you get the best of the best customers. The best of the best too. I mean, all the employees are awesome and everyone has a reason they come back to work every day. But I think like finding those questions to actually ask them, it's cool for your HR team to be like, yeah, conduct all those interviews because I think that's how we should do a marketing campaign to get people hired in. Let's tell the stories of like why everyone's even coming to work every day.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, love it. Give me the money. Let's go. I got the people. We got the cameras. We got the place. Let's boogie.
Obviously, that's, one way that you've been able to kind of showcase, the Recreational Group and differentiate yourselves in the market. What kind of other things are kind of top of mind for you and how do we make ourselves different?
I think that kind of leads into just what's going on right now. I was talking to Kami about this last night, but you can get a degree in marketing and like 2 years later, it's just so different. And you look at AI right now. That came out really mainstream, like what, 2 years, 3 years ago, really? I remember talking about it in my interview for Recreational Group. And it was like, what are you going to do with it? And I was like, my immediate thing has always been, I think you use it against, like have people, hey, spot the AI. Which one's fake, which one's real? Yeah. But always leveraging the reality at a higher ground than whatever the robots are making. I just call AI the robots. I feel like it's fun. It robotizes them.
I'm all on board with that.
Yeah. So there's another popular marketing podcast. If you haven't listened to it, you should totally check it out. But it's like Do This, Not That, Jay Schwalderson. I got to meet him actually at a HubSpot conference and I totally nerded out. Like you could be like, here is, Ryan Reynolds. And I'd be like, no, I need to talk to Jay Schwalderson for a second. Like he's going to make me more money, I think, at the end of my day. But he has some really good points about like leveraging AI and being smart about how you use it. But again, like always using it against itself. So the prompting that you put into it and what you do there. So for me, it's like, I don't want to go on and do what my competitors are doing. Right. But I want to know what they're doing. So it's like you can absolutely ask AI, hey, from a sentiment standpoint, what are they doing better than us? Like what is the collective review online on Reddit or whatever? Tell me what they're doing. Where am I stronger? Where are they stronger? How can I fill in these gaps and act as a CMO or act as a CRO and literally prompt it to do exactly what you aren't necessarily qualified to do, but need to know. And so like, that's one element where it's like, I would love to have it stand out like that of, hey, no, we don't, like, I think one of our dealers did it too. It was so awesome. They said, we took a picture of a garage and then we told AI, put chocolate brown rib tracks in this photo.
Yeah.
And it did it.
Yeah.
And it's like, why did I not think of doing that? I created an app for Swiss Tracks years ago where it was an augmented reality type thing, kind of when Snapchat was really it's still at a higher point, but when it was really high at a point before TikTok came out. And it's kind of that thing is just like, hey, how do we use this in a way that's fun and clever, but isn't going to take away jobs? And it's not. I think that at the core of all of it, as long as you remember that humanity and the authenticity, the robots can't recreate that. They're not smart enough yet.
For sure.
So it's like,
absolutely.
And you guys do that. Like we talked about this probably like a year ago. Is like that's why we focus on the human side to all of this. I mean, from a manufacturing standpoint, we make all of our tiles right here in Dalton, Georgia. There's robots doing that, but there is a human operator directly behind it, checking quality, watching everything as it comes in and out. So AI is just no different. It's like it's only going to be as good as what we put into it. And when you talk about YouTube and you talk about kind of everything else that's happening, we don't like to see things that are totally fake like that. Right. We just don't. I mean, there are people with robot girlfriends and boyfriends now that they like that, which is fine. Hey, again, you go for it. But there's still at the core of that, whatever conversation you're having, there was a human prompter at some point to create that, or there still is behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
And it's the same thing. So it's like with YouTube, right? They started punishing people that are using, not punishing, but making you label, hey, this was AI generated, or this, even the voiceovers. And it's like, that's why we had to come in and I was like, I just spent a lot of money making this VersaCourt assembly video. I wanted it to be right. I don't want people to have questions about how to put their court together. Right. Why would I risk then that last perfect part of the voiceover and having a robot do it? Yeah. Than having the voices of our company come out and do something that, like Spezio, he's not in the tile side of things all the time, but he's got a great voice that's relatable. Yeah. And so bringing someone in and letting them try something new and saying, hey, anybody want to raise their hand and do this fun thing that makes them like their job, makes them excited to share the final product. And also you can hear that human side in the delivery and your audience is going to receive that. So just keeping the human at the element of all the things, I'm all for efficiency because like I said, sometimes I'm a little frugal with these elements. So I know that voiceover might cost me quadruple what the AI one is going to put out. But fast forward 5 years, what's the rule going to be on AI down the line? They might just make you take it off entirely, and now I lost all those views in that investment. I'm going to have to post that thing again. Right. Or at that point, probably have to remake it. But, so it's just like, when do you cut a corner? When do you not? And I think just being smarter, like using it to make you smarter is good, and having that help you stand out. Use it in a way people aren't using it. Or do what you're doing, like the Tesla thing like I was talking about. Santa's driving that car, apparently, if you look at the screen. Yeah. And it's like, I think the generation that's coming into its power right now just wants a little bit more fun. Like, it's all so serious. We're all expected to do so much more than our parents and grandparents were expecting, or the world expected them to do. Right. So we're trying to juggle 20 balls when they were trying to juggle 3. And it's just what the world has become. I'm not dissing them at all. Those are my people that I'm modeling myself after. Yeah. But it's the same. It's just all comes back into itself where it's like, okay, how can I do more? I don't have any more time. So how can I do this correctly? But also I don't want to waste time in the future by cutting this corner too hard. So anyway, I don't know.
I think I get made fun of around here for 2 things. 1, drinking too much sparkling water. And 2, for always fighting with AI. And I feel like what I'm always picking a fight with it about is the stripping of the humanity. I mean, whether it's a script or something that someone's going to read or voice, or it's actually a voiceover, it's just kind of like, why don't you talk like a person, know? And it's just like, you can't.
But what did you guys did on that one video? There was a part of the audio that just wasn't quite right. Mm-hmm. And I remember on the call, I'm like, it still just doesn't sound good. Like, I love the whole video, but this one part is weird. Maybe just can you put that one clip in AI and just have it redo it? And you were like, yes, we can do that. And then it fixed it and literally, it's great. That video is great. We get so much great feedback because people love all the military stuff and rewarding civil servants for, and all those varieties. So it's like, I don't want to skimp on that. I don't want that one part not to be good. Right. So it's like, how can you use it in that way without letting it do your whole job? Because then you're just going to blend in with everybody else.
For sure.
Blech. That's not fun.
Yeah, I mean, marketing is so much about balance because you just don't want to lean too hard in one direction and pigeonhole yourself. And I think AI is kind of like one of those things that you just have to be really careful about how you really balance yourself in that way. So kind of transitioning into how you, from the perspective of the brand or brands that you work with, how do you guys leverage photo and video content like as part of the strategy that you implement?
Yeah. So we're in the process right now of, I think it launches January, like the first week of January, we're going live with it. But I don't want to throw out numbers because I don't want to put anybody on blast, but the investment that you make in the content from everything from our partnership with 148, my amount that's in a budget that goes to influencers, micro-influencers, other, if we're going to collaborate with NFL players or anything like that, that is a pool of money that sits over there that at the end of the year, I look at that and I'm like, this is my investment in this content. How can I prove a return on this?
Right.
There isn't, because you portion it all up and you add it into other videos and we use it in however many segments. And when we first took this job, there was just virtually nothing in there. There was no spend, but there was nothing that we could use to make cool videos that, again, aren't AI. I don't want to do, there's moments for that, but it's not going to tell that story in that human way, like what we're talking about. If it doesn't exist, it won't, first of all. So you got to get it. And I feel like now, right, we're going into year 3 of our partnership. I was just talking about that with Zach. I'm like, I think we come up in June for renewal and we need to get that list together. We have those things that we want to grow toward. But now we have, this asset management system that we're going to launch to everybody else because there's over 5,000 assets in it as of a week ago that, most of those are new. That's only 5 brands of 30. That's 5 brands of 30. And it's only the new stuff. I said, don't put any old stuff in there. Anything that even smells dusty is not going in. We're going to make this so sparkly, but we're going to launch that to the whole company. And it's essentially, there's AI elements in it that scan the photos and tell you what's in it. But Disney used something like that. And it was, kept all the IP separate. So if you needed approval from Pixar, you needed approval from Lucasfilms. That went to, you check the box and then it sends approval. You get the approval. Now you're able to use it. And it's kind of like that. It's going to be like that for where we're going forward. We've got dealer networks. We've got these people that are dying to get their hands on this content to make things for themselves that fits their story and their brands that are selling our product. So yes, but I'm also not going to give them something that's a waste of space. So now it's to that point where it's now we made this investment. But now we have this really cool pool of stuff that we're excited to share with you. And you have the rights to use it. And, when you input stuff in there, it's going to say, this dealer gave this. Here's their website. Here's the products in it. You can tag everything correctly. And we're not going to put any misinformation out there. We are streamlining everything. So it's there's just so much strategy that goes into even that little question of what are you guys doing with all this content? Or and it's dude, so much. Tell me where to start. Awesome. But I want to make sure other people can access it too, because that's the best way, I think, to prove that investment, that concept. And it's everybody use it. And then let's look at your numbers at the end of the year. Did you make more money? Yeah. Because you told a better story. Your buyer came to you ready to buy because they already had all their questions answered because the marketing stuff did it. That's the goal. If it's not there yet, it will be. Yeah.
And I think, it's interesting. I have, friends that own a marketing agency and they said something interesting the other day, that attribution is difficult because the way that we want to attribute things is not the way that people buy things.
Right.
We want to know that someone saw this video, clicked on it and said, I'm ready.
Right.
But in reality, they took the time to research and maybe they came back to it, 3 months later after they had seen your name 3 or 4 times. And so it's just the way that we want things to work is not necessarily how things actually work. And that, is a challenge.
It's very annoying. But again, they're humans and they're not robots. So you're not going to control them with that. And again, I think it comes back to just having the strongest story and really what that, in my head, when you say that, that's just the customer journey. And now marketing is just becoming, you have to meet every buyer where they're at in their time on their path. So you can't just put out a campaign on Google and call it a day.
Right.
You've got to be on TikTok. You've got to be in Meta. You've got to be on Reddit. You've got to be on all these avenues that pop up just somewhere so that you are resonating your brand awareness, the story you're telling, and eventually getting them down to that funnel element where they're ready to convert. But we have we use Refersion. I don't know, not paid sponsorship, but and that actually does show you kind of their journey. And then with HubSpot, we've got some insight into how long it really does take. And it's really cool how it like gathers all that information and spits out a report that gives you an accurate sales cycle, shows you where people are at in the pipeline, all the marketing elements that they've clicked on if it's trackable. And so it does change attribution like that. But again, in like our reports, that same customer is popping up in multiple campaigns because and especially with our products, you're not going in there and buying a $400 whatever and calling it a day.
Right.
You're going in there and you're spending $1,000 plus every time. Like, and nobody just spends $1,000 after seeing like one ad, like on Instagram that when you click it takes you to a website that is not a real website. And, even though you still sometimes click purchase and then it shows up and you're like, I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have done this. What a mistake. I knew I didn't like those sunflowers that much. Like, they don't look like that. But now, so we don't have that. And I hope that kind of like.
Yeah, no, that totally makes a lot of sense. And flipping the script a little bit. So, from your perspective, we kind of covered how you guys leverage the content. But let's say that a prospective company or videographers out there in the world looking to partner with a business, what kind of things do you look for? Or what were you looking for in terms of like production from a team like us?
I mean, I just got lucky. No, I'm just kidding. No. The first stop, I think, again, you guys had done at least one project with our CEO at that point. And I think, always getting C-suite approval is like, what a obstacle, what a hurdle. And knowing that, okay, you guys already have done something like that, but then literally me being able to go into that library, open it up, see quality of content, know how difficult it may or may not be to talk to that specific group of key people, what story were you able to catch, and really weigh that out. So, your guys' website looked really good. I know since I think you've updated the whole website and, now you have this whole studio. You didn't have that before. I feel like I got to witness some of that growth too.
For sure.
But it doesn't matter how fancy your studio is or what you're doing. Like, you guys had excellent camera, with the drone stuff, you were able to capture these courts. It's hard when you're on the ground, it's hard to capture a basketball game that's going to resonate the same. How many cameras do you see at an NBA game? There's like a bunch. I don't have any cameras, to be clear. So I needed people that had cameras. So you check that box. But then also, photography and, again, that creative vision. So looking at your guys' gallery, it's like anybody can come in with a camera and snap some pictures. But how do we, again, especially with these products, how do you get to a spot that you aren't like a competitor? Like, what is an angle that they're not doing that shows this? Because at the end of the day, we're all using the same material. It's coming down to a couple mold differences and customer service, warranty, and marketing. Yeah. What's being told with it? And it's like, I don't want to sell you something you don't want. So how do we wrap this all up together? And so, just again, doing your due diligence with who are these people you're about to partner with, especially if you're going to sign a contract. I knew I wanted a retainer because you guys didn't know all my asks yet, but I had them in my back pocket ready to go as long as I got y'all on lock. And had made sure, they're going to be able to deliver all these things. And, you guys have done that and more. And now we're at the point, I feel like I just asked him, hey, we need 4 of these things done before the end of the year. And it's like, this is going to be hard. But I'm going to owe you forever if you can do it.
Hey,
and
we love you.
You just make magic happen. And I'm like, listen, if you have to have a rush fee, I get it. But at the same time, you can't send that out to a rando on Fiverr or whatever and be like, hope this works. And and especially she was like, and I'm sorry, I know you're like, Delanie, please stop talking. But
no.
When you have a brand, they're gonna regret that. I'm just kidding. You have a brand, you can't be out there just saying, oh, you're gonna charge me $1,500 for this shoot, great. And then the next week, oh, you're gonna charge me $800 for this shoot to another person. And then they don't have the knowledge of the content that they have. Nobody has the knowledge of the content that they have. They don't know what's going on in the library behind the scenes. They're not going to be able to craft a consistent story for that brand throughout that campaign year or whatever. And so it's like you have to consider those things too, where don't waste money on content you're not going to be able to use again. Get it in the same you know, I think, and I skip that at the beginning. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sending these contracts out to these influencers, but I want to use some of it. I don't mind if it looks a little UGC, but what camera requirements do I put in here, at least to a minimum? And I don't know, like, I'm not going to ask ChatGPT that because they don't know
Right.
your process behind your scenes. But I'm like, what can you guys use? How can I get things from this side of my budget that will also help you tell the story and cut out any garbage that you don't need to waste your time going and filming? Like, so it's just, you know, I think like working together, like actually being collaborative, and I don't want to use that like a buzzword, but sharing the vision, knowing where you're going, having someone you can trust. Reviews are always so important, but you cannot answer every person that walks up to you at the trade show with a camera and says they're going to deliver you whatever. I've been burned on that so many times. You know, even low-key, like, loved my wedding, spent so much money on my photographers. They're the best people of all time.
Yeah.
Really should have spent more money on a videographer.
Yeah.
Didn't learn that.
Sure.
I didn't learn it
Sure.
through a company.
Yeah.
Just my own, you know, memory that'll never get back. But other than that, you know, so, you know, you don't, I just think you don't, and I always tell people that too, like with their weddings or anything, I'm like, just don't skimp on the videography and photography. Don't do it. Don't do it with your iPhone. I mean, you can. You'll be able to tell, so it's fine.
Right.
You're not gonna be able to put that on a national, you know, commercial where you're spending $100,000 for 16 slots, like, you know. So I mean, you always get what you pay for. At the end of the day,
I love it.
yeah,
love it.
just don't
And
get burned.
I mean, it goes, you know, it speaks to the importance of just relationship as well. And, you know, taking the time to, you know, get to know who you're working with, you know, whether it's a new partnership or not. Like I just feel like from the very beginning, it's just been easy to kind of just say, hey, we want to really get to the same end point, you know, where are we kind of off and where can we kind of meet in the middle here to get row in that direction. And it's just gotten more and more efficient and smooth as it's gone on.
And you guys help refine my wild visions that I have.
Which is fun, you know?
Yeah.
The queen of fun.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's fun for us too. And that's why, you know, when you say, hey, I've got these things for the end of the year, it's kind of like, well, I know it's going to be fun. You know, I know it's going to be an exciting project.
Sure.
Know? So
I hope that's the only thing I'm like, hey, listen, at least at the end of it, like you guys helped us with whatever. At the end of it, if that campaign is like something you're excited and you want to text it to your mom or your dad or your husband or your best friends, and you're like, look at this cool thing that we just made.
Right.
Like, that's so fun. That's a feeling that you're having, and like you shouldn't be going to work and doing something that makes you want to die every day. Like, it's just too short. So I think it's not, while we've used fun a lot in this session, it's still like, I don't want to be a partner that you guys don't want to work with. Like, back to, I didn't even say it, but I mean, I did floral arrangements for weddings for like 4 or 5 years in high school and college before I transferred to UC Irvine. And those brides, I tell you what, if you were not nice, I did not give you the extra flowers. We always ordered extra flowers. But if you were nice and you were lovely, hey, let me bless you with this gift that we also have, instead of, you know, like taking it back to the shop and making a different arrangement and just making pure profit. No, let me make some magic for you. But like, why? Because you're a good person. You're putting good vibes out in the world. You're making it a little bit better with whatever it is. And like, you guys do that too. And that's so apparent in everybody that works with you. I've brought you to my neighbors to film them. I've brought you to my favorite customers that my three-peat customers on their just one house. Their 3 garages in one house, you know, or their hangers or whatever. And, you know, you guys are an extension of us, 100%. I keep trying to make you wear my swag, but you know, you just won't do it.
I will. I should have worn my wrist.
It's like, I'm not wearing any swag today. So anyway, it's, you know, you're an extension of us when you got to those places. And, you know, with Barrett Jackson, like, you guys came out, you got to go around, you get your clearance, and you're out there without me or my team a lot of the time, but you're repping us. So like you said, trust is such a big element of it. And it starts with the reviews. It starts with other people are saying about you. But you guys you're just so wonderful. And everybody knows it. Like I said, my neighbors were like, can we just invite them over for Christmas? Can we just have them over? And I'm like, I mean, if they'll come, they're pretty busy, but like, they might. I don't know. We'll ask them. And I think that's really cool. Like, you don't often want to hang out with people that you work with your work week. You don't look, hey, come and hang out with me on the weekend too. But like, any of you guys would be invited to my house anytime you want. And apparently my neighbors.
I love it.
Yeah.
And they have a cool house. They had a great garage. I would be, hey, I mean, two pools across the street from each other. I mean, what?
More do you need?
It doesn't get much better than that.
No.
You know? So
we'll put a big giant inflatable slide in the middle if you need to get distracted along the way.
No, and
Taco cart.
I do love that we've, I would consider you guys all friends, and it's to that level, and I love it. Makes it worthwhile. Uh, you know, putting out good content is one thing, but to just build lifelong relationships in a work setting that you wouldn't expect is another thing. Kind of transitioning back into marketing awkwardly. What are kind of some that you kind of touched on competitors a little bit, and I feel like you guys are so unique in the sense that your competitors aren't just other people. For Swiss Tracks, for example, like other people doing modular flooring, you're also competing against vinyl flooring or epoxy or different types of flooring. So what are kind of some of the challenges that you guys kind of come up against?
From a marketing standpoint.
Mhm.
Yeah, you never want to get sued. I'll start with
Big
that
challenge.
one.
Yeah, I love that.
You need to avoid anything that is not you should not be doing, first and foremost. But I think, from a marketing one there's a lot of places that I think the answer has changed in the last 2 years.
Mhm.
Because now, I think I already kind of hinted to it earlier, you can literally ask the robots. You can plug in a domain and you can see their history and their search. And as where before it was much more under lock and key or whatever. And now it's like, no, you can see if they're bidding against you on keywords and what's going on. And it's like, you got to play your own game. At the end of the day, like, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. And you never know who's going to get acquired by who. So you just keep on your own path and do your best that you can do and tell the truth behind all of it. And it's never going to get you in trouble. So, and it comes back to me, like the content, the influencers we choose, everybody comes up to me and says, oh, so-and-so is going to work with me too. And I'm like, hey, that's awesome. Like, which one do you want?
Mhm.
I'm not here to play that game.
Right.
Like, they're called competitors, but I'm not competing. But I also like to think that that's because we have a finer quality product for all of my brands.
Mhm.
Especially Ultra Base actually works with a lot of my competitors. And I love that. I love that they are so niche that everybody needs them. Yeah. I was excited to get that brand, I guess. And they've gotten a new website. They're doing great this year. It's going to be a good year for them. And I can't wait to see what happens next year. And they have really fun products like backyard putting greens. So if you haven't checked it out and you want to surprise your significant other or your kid, it's so fun and you can do it yourself. But then you come back to like quartz and it's like, well, our main competitor literally owns the name that most people would associate it with.
Right.
And so you're just not going to beat that. What am I going to do? Go back in time and no. Yeah. So it's like, how do you do that? And you do it through the stories. And I think that's where it just comes back. It's like, hey, how do we make it cool? But family really is at the root. You guys already know this, but family is at the root of all these companies. That's what brings all of them together. Yeah. It's a space, bringing a space alive, getting outside together, taking your family there, taking your community there is another big one. We do a lot of commercial applications. And it's just so important to focus on those core values because, again, they're not. If you stay consistent with that, you're never going to get off script. You're never going to lose anything because you're not getting tangled in a web of lies that aren't true. Yeah. So that's kind of it. I don't know. How do we stand out for competitors? I don't know. I just don't compete with them. I try to do my own thing and try to tell our own story. And hey, listen, you just don't want to be you just don't want to be roped into any kind of deposition at the end of the day. Like, I'm not trying to take your business. It's just they know what website they're on.
You do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that, I feel like you've kind of touched on as well as just using influencers and kind of focusing on social media. So you have, again, it goes back to balance, another word we've used a couple of times. It's you have this nice high quality content, but you also need a little bit of that UGC that kind of brings in people that want something that's a little bit more natural and they can kind of put themselves in that mind frame. So what's it like kind of seeking out those sort of people and make those connections?
Yeah, I mean, you can have Zach and Kami also come in and talk about that
sure.
extensively, but I think you have to have a blend, and because we hold the the trademarks and whatever of world's finest, and we associate with like the world's largest, like thinking of Swiss Tracks and Barrett Jackson, they're the largest collector car auction, the world's finest modular flooring. You have to deliver on that luxury expectancy, I guess, which for me is fun because I always just kind of envision like my Tiffany and Co. time and my Nordstrom and my Ritz-Carlton, where it's like I had to wear that suit and that gold name tag.
Yes.
And, Tiffany had a very strict dress code, but like I got to borrow any diamonds. Anytime I went in that store, I could wear anything in that store that I want as long as I did not leave with it. And I'm like, this is so cool. But I kind of like go there in my head of what did that feel like? And how does that go? And that isn't a selfie stick, I guess. That translates to marketing as there's a time and place, there's a TikTok location for that content. And you have to have that because that audience needs to be met at that level. But there's the other audience that it isn't there. They're just not on that space. Or they are, but that's not where they're looking to spend, $100,000 on their collection showcase room. So it's like, well, where does that marry up? And I think that's like the biggest part is, what was the original question to this?
Just,
Sorry.
what are some of the benefits and challenges, of kind of seeking out those relationships? Because it obviously takes work to go out into the world and say, hey, I want to connect with you.
Yeah.
And of course, they're going to come back with you for a number or this or that. And so.
Yes. So that's exactly it. It's like, okay, so we have to have you guys for the beauty. That's what I'm going to call it, the luxury and the beauty and that stuff you capture. While of course, you're entirely capable of capturing things more.
Right.
But again,
we have phones.
Yes, you can do that. But that other side of the audience, I need those people to do that too. But I need to have the control of that content so that I can leverage it into your stuff as well. Because I think that there's also going to be a blend of that together to tell the story. And Devin, that video with Devin is a perfect example. I want your iPhone photo of your family. I would love that. That is relatable. That takes this luxury thing with this beautiful story and then humanizes it down to something anybody could catch or anybody could be. And then we go broad back out to this beautiful, dream home in Georgia that my gosh, don't you aspire to that?
Yes.
And then you hear his story and you're like, I want to be that guy. Or at least, his family, like that's awesome. And him talking through obstacles and ups and downs, all of that is so relatable. But it is also what these influencers, they have a part in telling that. They have audiences that they reach that you don't. They have vision and they have FAQs and they have questions and, they have that access that you just don't. And I love that part. I love that if I want to have a question answered or thought of in a different perspective, I've got right now, I think on our Swiss Tracks Elite team, we've got just under 50 people that we can reach out to at any point to get their feedback or see if they want to do this or see if they have a new project or see what they think. And it kind of gives us this little panel of content creators that are excited to do fun stuff. And especially for Swiss Tracks, a lot of people haven't seen it, even though we're going up against the epoxies and the vinyls and all these other solutions that people know about. Then it's kind of fun because they feel like they discover Swiss Tracks or they discover VersaCourt because they can't put an acrylic court in their backyard or whatever it is. And they're like, well, what's the DIY option? And then they go down this journey and magically VersaCourt arrives. And it's like, it is not magic, but it is cool.
Right.
And those folks, my influencers and micro-influencers and, your third-party collaborations and just whatever it is, they all tell their story. They tell your story in their view.
Yeah.
And it's so important because that view exists elsewhere too. And so they're speaking to people who are like-minded and really cool. So I think it goes back to that millennial vibe as well of the Tesla and the Santa driving it. It's just fun. Yeah. And they're delivering that message, that story their way. And so it still all goes together. It's still all perfect. They're reaching that audience. They're doing it in a way that maybe is more fun. Or there's a guy who just did his podcast Guitar Room. It is hilarious.
That's awesome.
If you haven't looked at, he's so funny and he was so chill to work with. And so, we have thousands of people ask for free floor.
Sure. Of course. I'm sure that's
thousands
a
for
lot
free
to weed
court.
through. Yeah.
And it's like, hey, why? And that's really where we start. We're like, well, why do we want to work with you? Because I only have X amount that I get to give away for free. So how's this going to pan out? And are you going to be part of this forever? Or are you just getting your free stuff and you're bouncing? What's going on here? Because again, I got attribution. I have to prove that you were worth something at the end of the day. And not that I believe everyone does have good intentions, but we all get busy. We got stuff to do, and I get it. So weeding through that is its own process in itself, and that's where I rely on my team to, hey, you guys look at that stuff. Bring me the super good ones. If you're trying to give away anything for free, I want to know what's going on, and then what else? It's not just about their following, but like like the guy with the podcast. He was just so funny. And it's like, I don't know where he's going,
That's a big
but
deal.
I love that he's funny. And like, he's, I think he
Humor
wrote,
makes a huge difference.
yeah, he wrote A Place to Park, ... my guitars. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, I love you using Swiss tracks in a different way. Or, or I love that you want to use ultra bass panels for your rooftop bar and putting green, but like, I would like to go there. Do I get a free ticket if I give this to you? Can I also go? And they just did an event too in the outside the Rockefeller Center in New York for a big tournament that was going on.
Oh, the Ryder Cup?
Yes, the Ryder Cup. And it was so cool to have, like, they reached out. Reached out, and it was like, yeah, we would love to do something like that. And
that's
so,
an easy yes, I'm sure.
yeah. But I mean, it's also like, well, you guys have to handle the install, and you have to handle the product, and you have to get it where it's at. We're not going to give you any, like, we're not going to tag you or do anything.
Right.
But it can be there, and it's like, well, it's really cool that you thought of that. So it's like, how does it work? And like sifting through agreements and doing that stuff is like, all of that goes into the behind the scenes stuff to eventually just get a piece of content.
Yeah.
That content better tell some kind of story, dude, right? Like, if that's all I get at the end of this, like, what's it saying?
Right.
Please make me laugh at some point, because life's too short for me to, like, not feel something. So that's how we do it. I wish there was, like, a better secret sauce you could follow, but it's like, I just want my team to follow their heart. And it's the same thing. Lead with, like, something authentic. Lead with something human. Lead with something that people can relate to. And, I mean, they're getting good at it now. I mean, it's 3 years, but a lot less questions and it's cool to see everyone's confidence build too, and watch them all become like the people that they're going to be. And I'm excited to see where life takes that for them too.
I mean, I've gotten a front row seat, just in conversations with you about how you want to empower your team and how you want to put more on their plate and so that they grow. And I think that's just an amazing quality as a leader,
Oh, well, thanks. I'll just like cry about it later. Hopefully they say the same thing. Hopefully they're not like, she's next level. So her delegation skills.
We'll invite them next. And they can talk about influencers and what it's like to work for
They wrote
Delanie.
me really nice Christmas cards, okay? So it can't be that bad.
That's awesome.
Just kidding.
Given all these things that you said behind the scenes, working with your team, what are some of the things that just excite you about what you do and what the work that you're currently doing?
I just love the impact that some of the products can make. At the end of the day, like, I think our whole company is striving to, like, we're always looking at, hey, we just made this new tile and it's recycled. It's made of recycled product and it's can be recycled. So the footprint is like way, we can even take competitor tiles and grind it down in-house now and make our product out of it, so long as it's, cleansed and whatever. And it's just like, that's a cool element to not be destroying everything all the time to make something new. But also going back to that, like, storytelling and, like, again, like, there's nothing that connects all the jobs that I've had, honestly, other than they've all been brands or products that can add an element of experience and memory to your life. It's just they enrich your life. You don't need any of them. Yeah. You don't need to go to Disney World. You don't need to meet a princess. You don't need to go to the Ritz-Carlton and have a club level concierge experience. You don't need Swiss tracks. You don't need a burst court. You can play basketball on a street. Like, you don't need a putting green in your backyard. You can go to a golf course, or Topgolf, or like literally anywhere. Right. I mean, it's frowned upon because it's kind of dangerous. Like, you can't like just go hit them off of any old roof. But anyway, so it's like,
sure you can.
So it's like, for that, what excites me is, what is that memory for that person, and how might it change their life? Not to be like an emotional whatever person, but it's like, I think about my time at Disney. I think about the time that I met Make-A-Wish kids. I know for a fact a lot of those kids aren't here anymore. Yeah. How do you leave a job like that and know you're going to make any kind of significant magic or impact anywhere else? Yeah. And that's just what I try to do. So we can call it fun. In my head, I just want to make magic however I can. Like, I want to make, if you get away from, no offense to Zelda, but if you get away from Zelda and you go outside and your dad comes outside after a long day of work and you guys play basketball for 4 hours and you have conversations out there that that's the memory you have later. Like, if he passes away, like, that's what you're left with. Is like, I remember talking to my dad on the basketball court. Yeah. Like, well, that's a pretty darn good memory. Absolutely. Or like, I remember going to the garage and helping Dad install that whole thing. And then, like, we told our whole neighborhood about it. And next thing I knew, I was on my 4th garage in our neighborhood. And, Tim had it, and it was great. And Jeff wanted it. And, and now you've all got this shared experience that bonds you together. And it wasn't about, a TV show, or it wasn't about, going to the sporting game. Like it's about something that anybody really could do right then and there. So yeah, it's the same thing, right? Like all of those brands have that element.
That's a really cool way that you've kind of been able to thread all of your experiences together and just continue to try and make people happy and give them memories that they can take with them, And I think that's just a fun part of the journey. What kind of encouragement, do you have for anyone that's kind of getting started in their marketing journey?
Yeah.
Obviously, for you, it just kind of happened. You kind of saw a need and were able to fill it. But what kind of encouragement do you have for somebody that's starting out?
There's so many avenues you can get into with marketing to get it started. I get this question a lot. I have a lot of people like, do you have an internship or what can I do? And I'm like, oh man, that really means teaching another person like from ground zero. But like, that's what we're here for, But you have to look at the easiest way to get into something, especially marketing in an ever-changing like landscape. Like right now, what's the hottest thing going on with it is AI.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go take a course on AI prompting and make yourself, priceless? Because that's new. I don't know how to do it. I didn't get a degree in AI prompting, but you could do that and you could start. Or it's like my other advice is, dude, find an agency. Like find any agency near you, hop in. You will learn at a speed of light. You'll barely be able to keep up. You're going to probably like have so many nights where you're just like, woo, brain overload, but you're never going to get that kind of experience anywhere else or in that setting. So how can you come up to speed? Man, find an agency and find a good one because like there are so many, but you can read reviews. Like again, mine was great and my boss was great and I learned so much there and they were so encouraging. It was just like such a great place. And I know you worked in an agency too.
I did, yeah. I had that experience as well, and it's true. You mentioned you said sink or swim earlier, and that agency world is very much like that. You just have to learn and you have to survive and you have to figure it out, or you're not going to be working at the agency anymore.
Or you'll drown. Yeah, you'll drown. Your clients will fail, and it'll be bad for you. Yeah,
right.
And no pressure.
Well, it's a totally different pressure when I felt like I was responsible for other people's money.
Yeah,
and
totally.
that is a totally different pressure of like, hey, I really need to do right by these people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or else they're going to hate me. I wasted their money. Like, I'm not a lotto ticket, man. Like, you're expecting something back from this.
Right.
Totally. And yeah, so I think finding the niche that you can jump into, just getting on board with any agency, that agency, and you know this, you go into an interview and you've got an agency on your resume, like, you're way more likely to get hired than someone who doesn't have agency experience.
Absolutely.
Disney told me that for a fact. They were like, if you hadn't had the agency experience on here, we only hire people from agencies like for this because you are juggling multiple things. You can't have a one-track mind on that. So that while you're under the umbrella of Disney, you're under Disney parks. We've got a bunch of them. Yeah. So you got to be able to be, like that. So knowing that experience is really what contributed to me being able to get that job, that gave me confidence too. And I think that's the last part is even if you don't know what to do or where to start, kill it with confidence, just no matter what it is you're doing. Get in that interview and you can say you don't know how to do it. That's fine. But make sure that they know at the end of that you're the person that's going to jump in and try because people don't do that. They just don't.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that I did want to touch on in regards to kind of like that encouragement is it's so clear. It is so clear how many pieces of your past experiences you still draw on. What's so important about just diversifying your experiences and kind of learning different things? Like selling a pizza is a little bit different than selling Tiffany, So diversifying your experience, what encouragement can you give there?
Yeah. I remember writing my entrance essay for Irvine, and it was like some generic question, right? Yeah. And at the end of it, I was just like, I want to be the person in the room that can just talk to anybody, like really talk to anybody, not sugar, surface level, bland. I want to be able to relate to anybody in any walk of life, which means you don't say no to experiences. You got to be a little more of a yes focused person. And also I think putting a little bit of faith in whatever that journey is. You're not in control of everything. You can't control other people. You're not going to control if you get the job or not. You just got to do your best for whatever it is. And so that's really just That's all I got. Like, I just go for it. And I'm like, do I want to do, I remember seeing the California Pizza Kitchen job thing. And I think it was on like ZipRecruiter. Like,
Yeah.
I've never gotten another job from ZipRecruiter in my life. I don't even know. I don't even have
I don't know if you were desperate at that point, but I know that there have been times where I'm just like, I will go on any website to get a job.
I just don't even. I'm like, most of these I think are fake, And then I saw California Pizza Kitchen and I went on their website and I was like, I'm just going to apply. And I think Brian, who was like head of people, they had like all the trendy fun names too for like their titles. Yeah. He called me within 30 minutes of sending the application in. And I've never, I don't know about any of you, but like I've never had that happen. And so when he sent me that, of course, the first thing he was like, there's Disney on your resume. Talk to me about this. And I'm like, yeah, man, like I pretended to do this for that long and those hours were so long, but it was so fun. And like, I don't even care about my wedding dress anymore because I got to wear that dress every day of my life. So like, whatever, I don't know. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it was still a pizza, but like it's a $22 pizza. Like that's an expensive single person pizza. Like it's not a cheap restaurant. So it kind of still, I feel like for me, fit into how am I going to draw people in for this? And they do a lot of cool things. They do like heart-shaped pizzas. They do their Veterans Day activations. They do all those fundraisers where they give 20% back of every check. So like, I don't know, it totally fit. It made sense to me because I'm like, I'm helping the community. Yeah. I'm telling them that, hey, if you buy the gift card package, you're going to get 10% off of this, and then you can sell those at this thing, and you're going to make money on that, and then they can use the gift card at the fundraiser. So, like, we'll do a 2-part fundraiser. Sure. Like, there's strategy into it. I was just like, right? Like, if we can even bring pizzas to the school, take pre-orders, we can send them home with everybody, and you can use the gift cards that you bought at the discount to buy yourself back the pizzas and get 20% off on every purchase plus, like, and so they were just like, you are overwhelming me, but like, sign me up for all of it. And it was so fun. So, anyway, I feel like it totally goes together, but it absolutely looks like a hodgepodge of craziness. And you just do it by like kind of trusting the journey, I guess. Like, I don't know. Again, you're not in charge. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, sometimes it's not up to you. It's up to what God puts in front of you and
just serenity prayer it up.
Yeah,
move on. It's like, all right.
Well, is there anything that we missed or that we didn't talk about or anything that you wanted to bring to the table?
Well, we're at some. Well, that's longer than I thought it would be.
We've covered some ground.
No, I don't have anything other than, again, like, if you guys have any questions about working with 148, ask me and I will tell you how to give them a really hard time. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'll tell you all the good things. And the bad things if you ever want them. I'm just kidding. There's really none. There's none, and we wouldn't continue it.
We accept that we're not perfect.
They're darn close though, y'all. Like, they're really good. I told them like a long time ago, I'm like, if you guys ever need like a review or a testimonial, like, you need to tell me because you're my favorite vendor. I love you guys so much. And everyone that you guys work with, they always say like, gosh, that team is so nice. And you're representing my brands, putting you on the front lines like that in front of my customers that spend a lot of money and have big mouths. They can tell everybody everything if they want. I think that's just part of it. So having you guys as an extension of I feel like me and what I'm doing, I mean, it's why I can still do this job for sure.
Oh, it's an honor. It's an honor, truly. And always a good time. It's funny because one of the things that always makes me laugh is when someone says, man, your team is just so professional, because
yeah, you are.
We just get along.
Yeah.
We just, like, it doesn't feel like we're showing up on set with like a button up and khakis and filming things. It just feels like we're hanging out with each other, but we communicate well with each other and all that sort of thing. So it presents itself as like this. The word professional just makes me laugh.
Well, you guys have like fancy Men in Black earpieces that you talk to each other through if you're far away. So like, it does feel professional, and you didn't always have those, to be clear.
Yes,
so I've liked to see that evolution, but no, you guys totally do. And I think
it's a huge compliment. It's just I never think of it that way and that's a testament to our team and how we get along.
We got I'm not from Chattanooga. So, but I don't have like the nougat. Like you guys got that like nougat vibes. Like, they show up and they're cool. Like, me and my one friend always joke. She's from Atlanta, but like, she wears a cool girl hat. Yeah. And like, you guys rock your like cool girl, not cool girl hats because you're not girls, but like, you know what I mean. You rock that like that vibe, and it's fun.
There's nothing that I want to be more than just cool, Well, Delanie, if you want to be found, how can people find you?
Yeah, well, you can always obviously explore all the cool brands that Recreational Group has. So check them out. And then I'm usually tagged in any press release. So if you need to like scare me, you can freak me out that way. Because I'm pretty sure it puts my phone number directly there. But also, yeah, find me on LinkedIn. It's like, I think my last name is like hyphenated. So it's Delanie Nelson or something like that. But you can find me via Recreational Group too. I'm LinkedIn through there. So shoot me a message, connect with me, and we can talk about all the cool things that maybe you want to do one day. I love talking to like people that are trying to get started or figure out what they want to do. If you can take any of my advice and then not make any of my mistakes, then again, I made the world a little bit better. I tell all my cousins that I have like a bajillion awesome little cousins, and they're all balling now. They're doing great. I don't know if they took my advice or not, but they're doing well. So, if you
maybe they did the mistake part where they didn't make your mistake.
They asked me some good questions growing up. Yeah. As the oldest girl, like they definitely, I think I've helped them in some ways. But, if there's anything from a marketing standpoint, or you just want to talk about fun Disney facts and give me a hard time for liking Stitch so much, LinkedIn, I'll take it.
Well, I think and I hope that people realize throughout this conversation that you are just a wealth of experience and knowledge. And so, it'd be great to tap into. So we appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much for coming in and being part of our Take 148 podcast. I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Literally in days. And via email today. Thank you. Bye.